Alright y'all, I have lots of empties to share with you from my August rotation, plus a few that I popped in there just for fun, and some review candle empties. My name is Tracy, this is the 3-Wick Thesis Candle channel, and I love having you here with me today. I have put in chapter notes, they are below. You can move your little mouse and see them in the video, or you can click the description and you'll see the hyperlinks there. I organized it by retailer. I'm going to start with Bath & Body Works, and I have some 3-wicks, single wicks. I have some body care items I'll share with you. Then I'm going to get into Goose Creek, which is where a majority of my candles came from in September. I have a Kringle tray over here, and then I have a tray of other, so you'll have all of those noted below. My goal is to share with you scent notes, what I felt about the fragrance, anything I remember about burn quality, strength, throw, all that fun stuff. I'm going to show you the empty jars so you get a feel for things like sooting or burn quality. And some of these, the Hubs has taken note because he's learned some things while I was in Michigan. But with the exception of one candle, and I'll tell you which one that is when I get to it, I spent time with all of these. I was in Michigan for a couple of weeks, but I was here long enough to really enjoy my rotation and get a full sense. And speaking of Michigan, I was so excited. I had some empties from Michigan as well, so you'll see me cut in some B-roll while I talk about a few things that I was able to finish up with the stepdad. Definitely not in comparison to here. Stepdad has not quite grown into the fragrance king that my husband is, and so I don't burn as much when I'm there, and we just don't go through as much product as a result. I'm going to start with Bath & Body Works, and so speaking of the stepdad, I might as well talk about the candle from Bath & Body Works that we finished up. Now this is a new one. I'm just here to show you the label and the scent notes, and that is the Sugared Lemonade. This one is fresh lemon juice, sugar crystals, and crushed ice. This was one of the first candles I bought with the stepdad. He really loved the lemon aspect to it. He liked the sugared aspect to it. This is a sweet, juicy lemon that to me does not go the way of like cleaner vibes. It's just a beautiful, sweet lemon fragrance. It did really well in his large living room. It's not an open concept, but it is a pretty large space. It was able to fill it out. He gravitated towards this one along with the iced tea lemonade, sweet tea lemonade. And at some points we were blending those two together. I was also blending this one with the Goose Creek Blueberry Donut, which I'll talk about when I get to my Goose Creek empties. So here is some B footage of this empty candle. It had really good burn quality, just a little bit of sooting with this one, but I didn't have any issues with things like wick fallout or dudding wicks, nothing like that. It was actually a really excellent candle. I also tried my hand for the first time at making fire starters. My stepdad has a fireplace that he uses mostly in the winter to heat his home. Fuel oil has gotten really expensive, and so he likes to use his fireplace to heat the home instead. He's working on building a huge woodshed out back, and he had, gosh, I don't know how many cords of wood that he had some guy on his property chopping up, but it's a lot. I would say like 4 or 5 cords of wood he was chopping while I was there. And so I put these together. I went out, I hunted down some pine cones out back and just poured my wax, what was left in the bottom, all over them. So that's why you're not seeing any wet wax in the bottom of that jar. It's because I poured it out and made some lovely fire starters. According to my stepdad, they are too large, and he's going to break them in half because he's afraid he's going to burn the house down. I said, that's fair. You should start small because I don't know what I'm doing. So anyhow, it was fun to make them. It was fun to see his reaction to me making them, and I am excited that he wants to give them a try this winter. Okay, next empty is Summer Rain. I went on this kind of like aquatic water vibe that was really nice this month. Love the label on this one. There is the Mountainside Mist that is out in the fall collection that has the same scent notes as this one. However, I don't think they smell exactly the same. I actually like Mountainside Mist a little bit better. I feel like the musk note is warmer in that one. This one comes out much more sharp and almost perfumey a little bit more so than the Mountainside Mist. It's chilled open air, fresh musk, and juniper berries. This one was a relatively clean burn. I do have a little bit of wick fallout that stuck to the side of the jar there. Wax pool looks good. Didn't have any issues with dudding. So overall, good candle. I would absolutely buy the Skin in the Summer Rain jar. I love these jars. If I saw this, say, at Winter Sass this year, definitely I would pick this up for 75% off. No question. I also finished up the Sugar Spell Sweets. This is the one that had the dome lid. I've actually added it as decor. It's up on my wall up here. I have a little hexagon shelf. It's sitting in there. I plan to use it on more of my Halloween candles or just as a vibe in the room. So I don't have the globe with me to show you. This candle is useless. It's Spooktacular Sponge Cake, Whipped Buttercream, and Mystical Vanilla. It's unscented. I literally couldn't smell this candle. I can't even tell you what this smells like on warm because I couldn't smell it. On cold, I barely get what feels like a frosting note. And it's not even a rich buttercream. It's just like, you know, vanilla frosting. So I would not rebuy this except for the lid, and I don't need more than one of those. So this is a one and done for me. Clean burn, however, didn't have any issues with wick fallout or wick residue. So clean, but useless. Sea Salt Caribbean is the next one. I love this jar. I'm going to save this jar. This is so pretty when lit, y'all. I love that it's see-through glass, and this color is just to die for. So when it's lit, it just kind of glows, and you can see it across the room, and it's so pretty. It kind of reminds me of some of my LED lights. Clean burn. I didn't have any issues with sooting or the wax pool getting mucky. I also really like this fragrance. The scent notes on this one are salted driftwood, lime, and ocean breeze. This is so good. The salted, you get a hint of this like dry element. You kind of feel the salt with your nose. It's hard to explain what it actually smells like. The lime is in there. It's a juicy lime, in my opinion. I don't get a lot of zest. I don't know what's in the ocean breeze, but if I had to guess, I would say it's bergamot. This did really well in terms of strength. You could actually make it out in my open concept, which was nice. I was burning it back here a lot. I would absolutely repurchase this, not only for the jar, but for the fragrance. I recommend it if you like something that's aquatic, a little bit citrusy, and has some bergamot note in it. That's one of my favorites of the kind of ocean candles I was burning this past month. Santorini Coast. This one is creamy coconut, almond blossom, and warm vanilla. I liked this one. It kind of felt like it wanted to be sunscreen, but didn't quite make it there. It almost kind of smelled edible, but then also felt like body care. I'm glad I experienced it. I think I would buy it again, especially if I got it at Sass, but I don't know that I'm totally in love with it. Clean burn, no soot, no wax residue. Yeah, looks really good. Oh, I'm so glad to be done with this fragrance. Vanilla Cloud. Y'all, this one had so much potential. I picked this one up at Winter Sass. Actually, I picked up two. This is my second one. This is unscented on warm. It's so disappointing because it is a beautiful fragrance, and I love that it is a body care vanilla. But you can't smell it even standing next to it. It was a waste of life. Halfway through, the swamp wicks were so bad that I finally just put it on my stovetop. We call that the graveyard. That's like where candles go after they're dead. And I just let it burn on the stovetop because it was useless. And I would say about half of it burned with no fragrance and swamp wicks. Luckily, which can sometimes happen with swamp wicks, it did not get mucky in the wax pool. The wax pool stayed clean, but sometimes that can make the wax pool turn dark. It was fine. It held up, but I would not rebuy this fragrance because of the strength and throw, and I wouldn't rebuy this jar because of the burn issues. Sugar Cone Crunch. I am so glad I have a backup of this one. I do have one store in my area that still had some of these left. This is still around at Winter Sass, which I'm hoping it will be. I would absolutely pick up more than one of these at 75% off. It's freshly baked sugar cone, caramel, sea salt, and gooey marshmallow. And I get mostly like a warm caramel fragrance. And what this one reminds me of, I finally feel like I've pinpointed what it's hitting on for me. It reminds me of the Stroop Waffle candle from Goose Creek, aka Netherlands if you bought it in the World Traveler version. If you liked that candle, you will like this one. I actually think this one performs better. It had good strength. It had good throw. It competed in the open concept space. It held its own. This is just an excellent candle. Cannot wait to get into my backup that I have. Probably will burn that in probably November or December as like a warm gourmand fragrance. Clean burn too. Didn't have any issues. And you'll see those craters at the bottom because I let this one self-extinguish, which is what I normally do. I don't normally put my candles out before they tell me it's time. Another one I'm just happy to be done with, y'all. Strawberry pound cake. It's not because I don't like the fragrance. I do. I know it can be a little bit artificial, but I actually like the sweetness in here. It's because this is just a crap burn. It swamp wicked pretty much all the way through. This joined a vanilla cloud on the stovetop. It went to the graveyard. It just sat there ripping. I think this ripped one day, literally from 9 until, I want to say 11 p.m. This was burning. It still didn't come back. I about just threw it in the trash, but if there's one thing about me, it's that I'm persistent. So I just kept lighting it up and letting it simmer is what I would call it. Good news is this lasted for days. Bad news is I couldn't smell it and it was ugly. Couldn't see the jar glowing because the swamp wicks were so bad. No soot though, so that's good. Makes sense. Never got hot enough to start smoking. Wax pool looks good, so that survived despite the swamp wicks. I would not repurchase this again in this particular jar. These are the old school White Barn label jars that don't do well. I'm not surprised. All right, got things rearranged because I need space to put these other empties somewhere else. Warm Ocean Breeze. Now I had this one in a single wick too, I believe. I like this one. However, ironically enough, I like the single wick better. I don't know why. There was something about it that I felt like whatever the zesty note is that's in here, I'm guessing it smelled like bergamot to me, but I'm guessing it's the eucalyptus zest and how it blends with the warm sage. There's also ocean sandalwood in here, by the way. I liked how that smelled in my bathroom space. It really filled out and felt really zesty and almost like sinus clearing. With this big one, I don't feel like I got as much strength and throw from it, and so I was kind of craving that same energy and that same vibe, and it wasn't delivering. I would still buy it in the 3-wick, but I think I would gravitate more towards the single wick with this one. I did have some sooting in the first half of the candle, but really only on this one side, and I'm not sure why because the wicks do look evenly distributed. A little bit more here. Yeah, so maybe it's just where the wicks were at. But after that, it became clean. No issues with the wax pool. It's just a little bit discolored, but in general looks really good. I also love this label. This is a Sass candle that I picked up at Winter Sass, so it's last summer's version. And when this glows, it feels like vertical blinds. It kind of makes you think you're in like a hotel room looking out at the palm trees. So I like the vibe of the label. Wish they'd do something like that again. I really like it. Oh, I love this one. Ocean plus Vanilla Bean. This is also one I had picked up at Winter Sass. This was a 75% off price point. This is a part of the Blends collection that came out in 2024. This is to die for. In fact, this month I am burning Oceans and I brought out my Vanilla Bean candle to recreate this. I like it so much. So if you have Oceans and Vanilla Bean, burn those together because this is divine. It's Blue Cypress, Coastal Air, Madagascar, Vanilla Bean, Warm Cinnamon, and Nutmeg. I don't get the cinnamon and nutmeg at all. It just smells like a very warm bakery vanilla with the elements of ocean, that Blue Cypress and the Coastal Air. So you get this bright aquatic note with this really warm bakery vanilla. It sounds weird, but it works. It's beautiful. It's delicious. Clean burn too. The jar is just like super, like this almost looks like, you know, Yankee Kringle clean for a Bath & Body Works candle. So very little wax residue. The wax pool stayed clean, no sooting. Beautiful burn on this one. I do have a backup, which I am going to be hoarding because I love it so much. I don't want it to go away. I don't think they'll bring that back. I wish they would. Coastal Paradise. This is one I ended up liking way more than I thought I would. I did just recently haul this in my Saturday ritual haul video that I did this past weekend. It was 75% off, so hello, I snagged it. salted citrus, sparkling waves, and coastal breeze. I wouldn't say this is a powerhouse in terms of strength. Medium. It did okay in my open concept space, but it really kind of stayed in its corner. So I was burning it over here on the couch where I normally sit so that I could get a feel for it. It is warm. I think something in that salt note makes everything feel kind of warm and dry and a little bit like you're sitting next to the ocean. You get this really bright note in here that helps to brighten that up and liven up the fragrance. And I swear I get coconut. I don't know if there's actual a coconut in here, but it feels like a very warm, creamy, earthy coconut to me, not like a sunscreen coconut. Happy to have another one of these. Really, really enjoyed it. In terms of burn quality, solid performer. A little bit of wick in there floating around, but no residue, no soot. Another one from Winter Sass in that same style, Tiki Beach. Warm vanilla musk, orchids, toasted coconut. Yeah, I like this one. I'd buy it again. I feel like it gives sunscreen vibes with that coconut, but again, it stays kind of creamy and earthy and more natural. I pick up on that musk, which helps to really just warm things up. And the orchid note, which I'm not always a fan of, is not too strong in here. This one, medium leading towards low. I could barely smell it even when it was in its own corner. Would I still get it? I would, because I liked it that much. Clean burn, no soot, no anything wax related or wick related. Stellar candle for the price. Just such a good deal. This one, I left myself some notes because this I figured out early on. One is this was a really hot burn, and two, the wax pool was really pretty when lit. And that is the Strawberry Daiquiri, also a Winter Sass pickup. This is scent notes of frozen strawberries, sweet simple syrup, shot of tropical rum, and zesty citrus twist. I do not think this smells like a strawberry daiquiri. This, to me, smells more like a strawberry otter pop. So you get the sense of it being like a frozen, fruity strawberry drink. But I don't get, is it rum that's in daiquiris? I don't get any booze, and I kind of want booze. There's the wax color, which is kind of a pastel pink on cold, but when this was lit, it turned into this beautiful, vibrant, jammy looking pink, almost a red color. But it was a very hot burn. Despite that, I didn't get sooting. So I monitored it, made sure I burned it out. This one maybe would go an hour and a half max, and I'd have to burn it out. So I didn't get to really enjoy it for long periods of time. I also feel like this one was pretty medium in terms of strength, and it wasn't the best thrower. So if you were sitting next to it, you got a good sense of it, but it wasn't necessarily filling the space. I would buy this again if it were 75% off. I would not buy this at full price. This one I ended up really liking, Vacation Villa. And I did a lit review when this first came out on this candle, and I was like, yeah, it's just kind of meh. I wanted more. And that's true. I do still want more given that crisp linen note. It also has rich sandalwood and sea breeze. But if you don't look at the scent notes and you just smell it and enjoy it, it's really beautiful. So I think my problem with this candle originally is that it felt inauthentic in terms of scent quality. But I love how warm it is. I love that it's a little bit bright, a little bit sharp. So that sandalwood is really warm and comforting. The linen and the sea breeze kind of adds this like almost bergamot and laundry scent to it that needs to be turned up in my opinion, but very pleasant, very relaxing, very calming. I'm going to miss it. And if I see it at Winter Sass this year, I'm definitely going to pick one up. Very clean too. No sooting. I don't see any residue issues. There is a little bit of wick fallout on the side of the jar back there, but otherwise it was a beauty. All right, some single wicks from Bath & Body Works. Fiji White Sands, which I gotta say, y'all, I am sad to be done with this smell. I had it in the 3-wick last month, the single wick this month. It's beautiful. This really grew on me too. Fresh cut sugarcane, white nectarine, and sandalwood. I swear I get coconut in this. Yeah, this straight up smells like coconut to me. So I don't know if it's the way the sandalwood is playing with the nectarine or like the sweetness of the sugarcane. It almost goes the way of sunscreen, but it just pulls back from being sunscreeny. It's just a warm, delicious summer fragrance. Calming, relaxing. I would buy all of this. Single wick, 3-wick, multiple copies if this is at SAS. I didn't see any of this at summer SAS, which does not give me hope that it will be out for winter SAS. But it might pop into my outlet at some time, or it might pop back into SAS because someone finds a random box in the back. I'm going to be looking for it. And y'all, I did the math. We're only 4 months out from SAS. Not that I'm counting, but it won't be long. It'll be here before we know it. Coconut Piña Colada. This is another one that I ended up really enjoying. Initially, because I'm not a huge pineapple fan, I was like, I'm not going to like this candle. I liked it in the 3-wick. I like it in the single wick. It's coconut milk, blended pineapple, and a splash of rum. It's just a beautiful blend of pineapple and coconut. And actually, I was burning these two at the same time in my bathroom. Actually, this was a real mixer in the bathroom because I also was burning that one with Warm Ocean Breeze. It helped to tame this one a little bit. I'll talk about that one in a minute. But this one has this beautiful pineapple note that's not too pea urine-like. It's just like sweet and juicy, and then that coconut softens it up and makes it feel really creamy. I would absolutely burn this one again. Little bit of sooting here at the top, which is common with single wicks when they're new, because they kind of get really sooty. I do burn these in a Hurricane that I got from Crate & Barrel. It's perfect size. I'll actually show you a picture right here of what that looks like. Perfect size for a single wick if you're interested, and it does help with the tunneling. I don't know that I would say it helps with throw, but it does help with tunneling. And I only do my single wicks in my bathroom space, which is very small, probably like an 8x10 space, and most of that is shower and washing machine. So it does well in there. I would not do single wicks anywhere else. Berry Waffle Cone. This was one of the Summer SAS candles that came out. It's sweet summer berries, golden waffle cone, and creamy vanilla. And now I understand why everyone likes this fragrance. On cold, there's just something in here that doesn't read right to my nose. I don't know if it's the like brown sugar vibe I'm getting, or it almost smells like a raisin to me. I don't know, but on warm, it's delicious. It is gourmandy and sweet and a little bit fruity. It reminds me a lot of Sugar Cone Crunch, but I feel like this one feels a little less brown sugar, more like creamy ice cream vibe, whereas that one feels more brown sugar to me and almost caramelly. So this one doesn't have that caramel note. I do hope they bring this back in a 3-wick next year. I would definitely buy it, and now I regret not having bought it at Winter SAS because there were a ton of those available during Winter SAS. Let's talk about Warm Ocean Breeze since I brought it up. Now this has the same scent notes as the big boy, but this one did a much better job of throwing. I almost feel like I could have brought this out into the open concept space and like it would have thrown better. I thought maybe it was because this was a different year, but both of them are Winter SAS candles that I bought, and both of them have batch numbers that go back to 24. I don't know. Maybe it's the vessel. I love these, you know, twist top lid style. Clean burn. No sitting on this one. Beautiful burn. And I love the little turtles on there. Really cute label. I would pick this up again. I just don't know that the new one would throw quite as well as that one did. And the final single wick, another one, y'all, that grew on me, is the True Blue Spa. This is on my outlet list. It was at the outlet this past weekend, but it was 50% off, which I'm like, no, I'm not paying 50% for a single wick because these will go on sale for what, $5 sometimes. So I'll wait and pick it up. I don't really want to use a reward on it because it's post-season, and I feel like we'll see this at Winter SAS. This is just shea scented. And at first I thought, like, who wants a shea scented candle? That's what you, like, that's a carrier oil. That's what you put fragrance in. But this was so warm and so pleasant and so simple in my bathroom space. Perfect. Love it. The hubs really ended up liking this one too, so I kind of regret only having one. But like I said, I'll be on the hunt for it. Clean burn. We really gravitated towards this one in August. This one disappeared within, I think, like the first week of the rotation, and I wished I had had more. Now for the body care at Bath & Body Works. I'm going to start with my foam soaps. I actually went through 4, but one of them was with the stepdad, so I don't have it here with me. But I also went through one here, and that is the sweet tea and lemonade. This one is brewed sweet tea, fresh squeezed lemons, and sugar crystals, y'all. I just need to sniff this. I know what it smells like, but I love it. I almost pulled one of these out to do in my September rotation, and then I was like, girl, that's summer, you gotta move on. But I might still do it. They sell lemonade at fairs. I could add it to my carnival theme. Love this so much. The stepdad loves this so much. He was really happy that I brought him a bottle when I went back to Michigan this last time. We finished it up back there. I made sure to put this one out before I left, the new one, and then we went through one here. Beautiful. Smells just like tea with lemon with a little bit of sugar. So this is like a true Southern tea fragrance. One of the best tea fragrances on the market. I did do a whole series on that if you're interested. I'll link that below. There are a lot of tea candles out there. That's a good one. And it's a good soap because it smells just like the candle. This soap is super old, y'all. Not a foaming soap either. It's a gel. I forgot I had one of my gel ones in here. This is from when? Yeah, this is from 23. I went through something at the end of 2023 where I was like, they had a sale or something and you had to buy a certain number, and I wasn't as familiar with Bath & Body Works sales, and I think I bought like 14 soaps or something like that. All in fragrances I had never sniffed before. I was going through my stash and I'm like, I gotta get rid of some of these. And why did I buy peach soap? I don't know. Strawberry Peach Sunset. But you know what? This one isn't that bad. The peach is tamed by the strawberry that's in here. It's peach nectar, fresh strawberries, and vanilla sweet cream. I use the gel soap in our dispensers because we have built-in dispensers in both our bathroom and our kitchen. This is nice. It's a very juicy, ripe peach note, and then the strawberry just kind of helps to sweeten it up. I don't know if I get like legit strawberry in there. It almost is just a sweetness, like a berry sweetness. And the vanilla sweet cream just softens the edges of the peach. So I ended up really liking this. Glad I have it. Wouldn't buy it again though. And by the way, it's 2 years old, but it's fine. I don't know if soaps normally go bad, but I'm not having any issues with that one. Firecracker Pop. Love this in soap form. I love it in body cream. I love it in body wash. I love it in 3-wick. I love it in single-wick. Love this fragrance. They also had this at the outlet this weekend, but again, it was 50% off, and I'm like, I'm just not paying that. I'll wait until winter and pick it up for $75, or wait until they drop it down. This one is red cherry, fresh citrus, and juicy berry. Y'all know I'm not a cherry fan, but I get mostly what smells like a blue raspberry out of this thing. I do not get cherry at all. Yeah, this smells just like a rocket pop to me. You do get a hint of the cherry in there, but it's also well balanced with like the blue color, which I think is normally, is that the citrus one? Or is that a blue raspberry? I don't remember. I need to buy some of those and eat them. I miss them. Would buy this again. Have a backup already. I'm probably going to save it for next summer though. I'm sure they'll bring it back, but it doesn't feel like it's in the right season. One body wash this month, and that is the Netflix collab Bridgerton Diamond of the Season. This one is sparkling peach, spring daffodil, and radiant jasmine. And to me and my nose, this smells like a sour beer. Whatever the amber note that's in here is really sharp. It smells fermented to me. That peach is soft and subtle. Yeah. Love this in the body wash and the body lotion. I have it in the fine fragrance mist. Little off-putting in the candle, but I really enjoy it in the body care. My last one. I have to check the outlet store. I did go through 2 of the shower steamers. I am sad that both of these are my last ones as well. I really liked the Reviving Rain. The hubs really liked the Renewing Forest. These do not work well. Set your expectations low. I only pick these up when they're on the $5.95 sale or if they're 75% off at SAS, which I think that's where I got both of these at. The Reviving Rain is, wow, that's really hard to read. A blend of aroma, zesty lime, sparkling neroli. And it says it's about the reawakening a rainstorm brings to a topsy-turvy world. Oh, that's so cheesy. And then Renewing Forest is crisp sage, comforting cedarwood, and inspired by the exhilaration of wandering through the forest and the feeling of revitalization as the sunshine warms your skin. Yeah, I don't get those vibes. This is soapy to me. Very earthy from the sage. It smells, I guess, like woody. I get a little bit of cedarwood. I don't get walking through a forest and being revitalized by sun, but I like it. And this one is just very, very bright. Very crisp, very bright neroli. Yeah, it's neroli. It almost reads like a bergamot to me though, but it's definitely neroli. And they're similar. They're both citruses. Love this one. Would definitely buy more. I don't personally like this one as much, but the Hubs does. So if we find it and he wants it, I'll pick up more. And then the Hubs got through one of the Pocketbacs in the Rain fragrance. Y'all, he was using this like body lotion. It was gone before I even blinked. Ended up buying 2 more recently because I really like it and didn't get to enjoy it. Don't remember the scent notes, but to my nose, this smells like fresh cut cucumber. There's something like juicy cucumber in here, although others have said they don't get that at all, so that might just be my nose. It's very fresh, very earthy, very aquatic, damp, wet. I don't know how to describe it, but it's delicious. So happy to have had 2 more of those that I picked up. Moving my Goose Creek pile closer, because it's hard to do that sort of twist here. Before I start on the pile that's here, I want to share the 2 that I did with the stepdad back in Michigan. One of those, which was my favorite, is the blueberry cake donut. And I'll go ahead and show you this B-roll footage of the jar. It was clean burn. I didn't have any issues with dudding wicks or wax residue. It was just a phenomenal burn. In terms of strength, I would put this at a solid medium, leaning more towards strong. It paired really nicely with the sugared lemonade. If you're looking for like a lemon blueberry combo, it was absolutely delicious. You actually get the cake donut vibe in this candle, but it's not too heavy. It's not too cloying. It's not too heavy. It's really lightened and brightened by the fresh, juicy blueberry that's in here. I don't get a lot of the sugary glaze note that they're referencing there, but this smells so good. Like pop of blueberry in your donut. Scent notes are wild blueberry, sugary glaze, and cake donut. I did repurchase this one. It's actually on its way. It'll be here on Friday with the collection that I ordered. It's finally arriving on Friday anyhow. But it's going to be in there, my rebuy of that one. I also did the fire starters with this one, but I tried a different approach. I used an egg carton and poured the wax in there with some like fire starter wood chips that he had out on the porch. They're not like official fire starter. It's like wood chips he picked up from cutting wood and put them into a bucket. He's going to try those out too. Same thing. He said he's worried he's going to burn the house down. I was like, I think you're going to be okay. But use with caution. The other one I finished up while I was there comes from the Smurfs collab that came out this summer. It's the Beach Fixes Everything. It has scent notes of tropical banana, coconut sunscreen, and golden sands. Apparently the stepdad is a sunscreen fan and he really liked that candle. It smells a lot like your classic banana boat vibe. I would say I tolerated it. I am not a fan of sunscreen fragrances, but it wasn't too bad. There's another one in here that I do not like and would prefer the Smurfs one over that one any day. I'll talk to you about that when I get there. Relatively clean burn. This was a powerhouse. It was very strong. I can tell you the Hubs did not like it when he came to Michigan to visit his mom and he stayed at my stepdad's house. He was like, why are you burning that? It stinks. And I said, because the stepdad loves it. So we were able to finish that one up. I also did fire starters with that one. It was really cute. I had just gotten done filming the B-roll footage and I was bringing down the empties to throw away and I was like, look, we got through all these empties. And he's like, are you serious? We got through that many? I was like, yeah, we got through 3 candles. And he goes, now you just throw those away? I was like, well, yeah, you can repurpose the jar if you want to put like a succulent in it or if you want to put cotton balls in it or whatever. I was like, but for the most part, I'm just going to dump these. We already used up the wax. And he said, well, did you make fire starters out of all of them? I said, well, no, not the sunscreen one. I kind of thought, you know, you've got some testers you can practice on. And if it works, I'll make more. And if it doesn't, I'm not going to waste my time. And he goes, well, I'd hate to have that wax go to waste. So I was like, let me see if I can get it to fire up one more time. I'll get the wax melted and then we'll make some more fire starters. And sure enough, even though I could see the wick nickel, which is usually when I stop, you can see the top of the wick nickel where the wick is fully dark. I fired it up and it was able to get to full wax pool just long enough for me to pour it out and make more fire starters. So I did make some more fire starters for him in the sunscreen fragrance that he liked. But I just thought it was cute. He didn't want me to waste it and he wanted me to use it up. I support that. Now, my collection at home, I've got a lot here, a lot of Goose Creek. Strawberry coconut milk is one of those. This is not a repurchase for me, and I'll tell you why. It's sweet strawberries, fresh acai, and coconut milk. Now, I know Kent has told me in the comments that this was meant to be like Starbucks pink drink. He didn't say those words, but he said a famous pink drink from Starbucks, so I assume that's what it is. I don't like the pink drink at Starbucks. I don't like the coconut vibe that's in that, so it makes sense that I wouldn't like the smell of this. But more so, it was just kind of a crummy burn. It left this really weird, and I don't know what that is. I've never seen this before. Do you see that residue all along the edge? That's not your standard soot, right? Your standard soot will be black, and it looks kind of charred. This is like, it almost looks like rancid oil that stuck to the side of the jar, which is just ugly and unpleasant. And then on top of that, I just wasn't a fan of this fragrance. It's too milky. It's too creamy. I want more strawberry and nonstop wick problems. So traveling wicks, starting at about halfway through, these things were kind of, you know, like they were in the ocean and they were seaweed, moving all over the place. You can see they're still off center there. I didn't like this candle enough to crock it, which is normally what I would do when wicks are this problem. Instead, I camped it on the stovetop as a graveyard candle and just let it do its thing, knowing that if it broke, it would go all over my stainless steel instead of my furniture that will melt. So that is a one and done. I am not using that candle ever again. Raspberry Sorbet, this is the second one from Goose Creek that I've gotten through. This one arrived broken. They sent me a replacement. I popped it out of the broken jar, put it into a new one. So I got 2 candles for the price of 1. And that's good because I really like this one. It's raspberry puree, chilled lemon, vanilla swirl, and creamy sorbet. I don't get the lemon. All I get is a nice icy raspberry. It's fresh. It's fruity, a little bit sweet. Reminds me of Bath & Body Works Raspberry Rosé. Do I wish it came in a different vessel? Yes, I do. Yep, because this one got kind of sooty. Not horrible, but enough for me to be a little bit bogged out by it. Wax pool stayed relatively clean, just a little bit of discoloration there. But yeah, I think if I were to buy this again, I might break it out and put it in a different jar because it did really well in the transplant jar. That one got pretty sooty. Smurftastic from the Smurfs collection. This is sweet blueberry, vanilla cream, and sugar crystals. My favorite one from that collection. It is a beautiful blueberry fragrance. That vanilla cream just adds a hint of like bakery sweetness. It almost makes you feel like it's a pie filling. The sugar crystals are very sweet. It almost makes it feel like a fresh blueberry versus a pie. So it's like battling between like bakery blueberry and fresh blueberry, or like blueberry flavored beverage. I love it. Burn was relatively clean, just a little bit of soot on the jar right there. Nothing too horrible. Wax pool stayed relatively clean. That is a dead moth. They show up in every one of my Empties videos. They like to star. They fall in. I try to pick them out with my little tweezers. The hubs, I think, Liz like, I'm not messing with that. It is pretty gross, so I understand. But I would absolutely rebuy that one. I love it. Now, I don't know how, and I can't find it, but this is not the right lid. It's a White Barn lid on a Goose Creek candle, but I can't find a White Barn with a Goose Creek lid, so I don't know what happened. And I can't tell what this is. This almost smells like Fiji White Sands. I think it is. But that was in last month's Empty. And this one was this in August's rotation. It happens. Anyway, love this fragrance. Wish that it would make a comeback. This is from the Wizard of Oz collab from last year. This is lemon peel, pink grapefruit, and sweet berries with Madagascar vanilla. I don't get grapefruit or lemon. To me, this just smells like a creamy berry, almost like a strawberry, raspberry, blackberry blend with vanilla. Oh, I'm gonna miss it. I might put this in my crock or under my lamp to get some of the life left in the wax that's in the bottom. Pretty clean burn. Just a little bit of sooting towards the top. Wax pool stayed clean. Wicks behaved. This is discontinued. Hasn't been out for almost a year. So I don't think it'll come back, or if it does, it will be in a different label, probably with a different name and possibly different scent notes because that's how they roll. But absolutely would recommend this if you can get your hands on it. Did pretty good in terms of strength. It was very localized in my open concept space, but beautiful where it was at. Oceanside. Love the black lid on this one. This did pretty good in terms of burn. Just a little bit of sitting there at the beginning, which is pretty common with Goose Creek candles. Wax pool stayed clean. This is Oceanside Mist, Bergamot Breeze, and Sun Bleached Woods. Yeah, this feels almost like the same vibe as like the Reviving Rain. It has a really bright citrus note in it. In this case, it's bergamot instead of neroli. It feels both woody and aquatic, so you almost feel like a driftwood vibe from it, but then you also get like a sea spray, water vibe. I would buy this again. I don't think it's backstock worthy, and last time I checked it was still on the website, but it's not something I would pick up to have like in the back. But if I need more ocean candles, I would pick another one of those up. Blueberry Pancakes, which is one I already did rebuy because I like it a lot. This is last year's label, but it is back out this fall. It's warm pancakes, sugary maple syrup, fresh blueberries, caramel, and vanilla. Goose Creek does blueberry so well. This is like a juicy, plump blueberry that you cut into while eating blueberry pancakes. You just get that burst of like jammy sweetness. You get the warmth from the maple syrup. You get a little bit of what feels like a cakey note from the pancake. Also, I want to highlight that I sent this to Taylor to give to her son, and it is Nugget approved. She calls him Nugget, so I'm going to call him Nugget. He really likes it too. So Nugget, if you're watching, I'm so glad that you like the candle I sent you. Right on. And to me, in my book, anybody who loves blueberry is a friend to me. So I hope you're enjoying it, and I'm so glad that you like it. And thank you for the chocolate-covered banana candles that y'all sent. So anyhow, I would totally rebuy this one. Love it. Doesn't look like this anymore, so I can show you the inside, but you're going to get a different version this year. Sit at the top. Wax pool stayed clean. Again, you've got that huge crater there because it self-extinguished, and that was the holdout wick. It kept going despite the other ones dying out. Last one in this crate is the Goose Creek Happy Birthday. Y'all, this one was boring. It was pretty unscented too. Fluffy vanilla cake, marshmallow cream, and sugar sprinkles. This started in our May rotation with the Hub's birthday. We didn't love it enough to finish it that month, and honestly, I struggled to finish it this month. It's just not that good. Yeah, and it's sooty. It stinks. So it got pretty sooty, although I don't see a whole lot of discoloration there, just a tinge, but the wax pool is pretty gross. So I'm smelling a lot of smoke. You can also see how discolored it is from the bottom. I would not rebuy this. There are better vanilla fragrances out there, and you couldn't smell it. Like, why bother? One and done for me. Rainbow Sugar. I like this one, but I'm kind of happy to have it out of my burn drawer. I don't think I would rebuy it. It's sweet strawberry, lemon whip, juicy raspberry, and vanilla clouds. It's a fan favorite, and it does remind me a little bit of the Wizard of Oz candle and the berry notes that are in here with that vanilla. But I felt like it suffered from strength and throw. It wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be, and I think I just got bored of it. Burn quality was okay. I do have soot in there. You can see soot rings towards the bottom, soot at the top. Wax pool got a little bit discolored, so I'm not drawn to it. Fan favorite though. Came out of the vault this year. People were really excited, so if you see it, it's rare, pick it up. Campfire Marshmallow. This is another one I felt like I just couldn't get through. This was in the June rotation. I did it for my like camping Father's Day theme. It didn't have very good strength. I could barely smell it. And it didn't thrill me. I don't know. I wanted more from it. It's fluffy marshmallows, vanilla beans, spun sugar, and toasted vanilla creme. And I think I wanted more from it because I have marshmallow sugar, and that one is such a beast that I wanted this one to be that, but like smoky. And it ends up to me reading more like marshmallow body cream. I don't really get a woody smoke note. And to be fair, it just has that toasted note in here, but it doesn't belong in a campfire series, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I love the little raccoon on the label though. Isn't he cute? Yeah, so this one's one and done. They do have this one out in a single wick right now. I will not be picking it up. Wax pool was gray. That's how it came, but did get just a little bit discolored. Smurf's Smurfberry Pie. I liked this one too. I think this is probably second in the collection that I liked after the blueberry one. Wild Smurfberries, juicy blueberry, and warm crust. I'm pretty sure whatever the Smurfberry is to my nose reads a little bit like grape. So it's almost like a grape blueberry fragrance. And I did get the pie crust note with this one. I was burning this with the other Smurfs blueberry to bring out more of the blueberry note in there. Clean burn, beautiful wax color. I don't know that I'd rebuy either of these just because you're paying the collab price, and I think there's other good blueberry fragrances, including blueberry pancakes and blueberry cake donut, that give me kind of those same bready, fruity vibes. I don't want to pay extra for the Smurf label. Here's the OG Boardwalk Cone. I really, really like this. It's ripe berries, baked waffle cone, vanilla bean, and brown sugar. I think I like this one better than Bath & Body Works Berry Waffle Cone, but they are very similar. If you like that one, you will like this one. This one had medium strength, decent throw, clean burn, wax looks good. This one I've already repurchased. I got that in a haul recently, and it's in my backstock drawer. That's ready for next summer. Blueberry cheesecake. This is the second one of this particular fragrance that I bought. I got through the previous label. I bought that last year. I really like this fragrance. One of my favorite blueberries from Goose Creek, but you have to like cream cheese vibes because it does have a cream cheese filling note in here. It's wild blueberries, cream cheese filling, and graham cracker crust. I don't get graham cracker on cold or warm. It is a wild blueberry. It feels more concentrated, more sweet, a little more like a dried vibe to it, almost like a candied note. And then that cream cheese adds a hint of like lactonic tartness. This one was so interesting. That one wick would not die. So it just tunneled all by itself. But I let it burn out, and then it got sloshed. Someone twisted it while it was wet, and we got wax on the side. So that's our fault, not the candle's fault. Clean burn, a little bit sooty of a wax pool, but otherwise stellar performance on that one. Love the chalkboard label on this collection too. Pretty sure that was a Kent design. Last one in this crate, coconut cream mousse. I know people loved this one. I found it to be very boring and low strength and low throw. So this is a one and done for me. It's toasted coconut shavings, creamy vanilla, and whipped mousse. I think I was just expecting like a very gourmandy coconut. I wanted something that smelled like you were eating coconut mousse. And what I get is just a plain boring mousse vibe with like a hint of coconut. It smells a little bit body care to me, which also annoys me. It doesn't feel quite as edible as I would like it to be. Something in here that's very creamy and vanilla feels body care versus edible. Burn quality on this, pretty good. A little bit of soot towards the bottom. The wax pool did get slightly discolored, but for this collection, this one did pretty well. This collection has had some bad luck with burn quality. So I don't like it. Other people do, so keep that in mind. It might just be me. Marshmallow Sugar, love of my life. Now this is last year's label. It is back out in a new label this year. It's also on markdown, so pick it up if you like marshmallow. It's fluffy marshmallows, vanilla bean, and vanilla sugar. This smells just like that like marshmallow fluff that you get in the jar that you can put with like peanut butter sandwiches, or you put it in fudge. It smells just like that. It is so sweet and so gooey and so strong in marshmallow fragrance, and it's a powerhouse. This thing will fill your space. Beautiful marshmallow fragrance. Burn was clean. Little bit of wax discoloration. It yellowed. That might be because of the age of this candle. This is from last year. It was poured on the 218th day of 24, so it could be a little bit of discoloration from age. It also could be from soot. I don't remember this feeling super sooty while it was burning. It was overall a good performer. I absolutely would rebuy this. I have rebought this. I have one at the stepdad's house and two here. That's how much I like it. He likes it too. I was actually pairing that one with Tree Farm at his house, and that was gorgeous. Marshmallow Sugar and Tree Farm. Delicious. Sunlit Shores. This is another sunscreen vibe candle. It's warm white sands, coconut milk, vanilla waves, and amber. I like this one. It's a little bit different than other sunscreen vibes. It feels more like 90s suntan salon vibes, or like a suntan oil versus like a suntan lotion. There's like a richness to it that's different than the other ones. I feel like you get a lot more of the coconut that feels natural and earthy versus like creamy coconut. I didn't think I'd ever say this, but I would rebuy this candle because I don't normally like sunscreen, but I did enjoy this one. So clean burn, wax looks good, no wick issues. Like it, don't love it, but if I want a sunscreen candle next summer, that one is not marked out on my spreadsheet as a no-buy, I would pick it up. Peach Boardwalk Cone, another one from the series. This is one of the flankers of Boardwalk Cone. This is a very nice peach fragrance, and I don't say that very often. It's fuzzy peach, vanilla bean, and baked waffle cone. If this hadn't sold out, I would have rebought it. Yeah, I don't usually like peach fragrances, but this tastes like baked peach poured over the top of vanilla ice cream in like a waffle cone bowl. It's amazing. Really clean burn. This one was interesting. It got all the way down to the wick nickels. The metal on it is short. Normally their wick nickels have longer metal, and it stayed lit even though the oil had completely gone away from the wick nickels. So this one went longer than what I would normally do, and honestly I don't like it to look like this at the end. It was on the stovetop in the graveyard and it just kind of did its thing. Finally self-extinguished. That's lower than what I would normally want my wax to be, but that's because they were using a different type of wick nickel on this collection. Strawberry Daiquiri. This one I left myself a note. This was a hot burn. It would get really high sooty flames and you'd have to put it out after like an hour. And I burned this one because I was curious how it compared to the Bath & Body Works Strawberry Daiquiri. It doesn't. I don't like this one. This smells very artificial strawberry despite it saying juicy strawberry. This almost reads like a strawberry shortcake or like strawberry pound cake to me. Yeah, I don't get citrus at all, and I definitely don't get booze from it. It feels a little bit like a blended ice strawberry drink, but it really smells too jammy, in my opinion. Also, relatively clean burn, a little bit of soot. This is a one and done. I would get the Bath & Body Works version over this one if I had to choose, but they aren't even the same candle. Same name, but they're not comparable. Love of my life. You're So Berry Sweet. I love it. Also referred to as chocolate dipped strawberries. It's sugar glazed strawberries, rich chocolate ganache, and white chocolate drizzle. To me, this smells like chocolate covered banana and very ripe strawberries that are chocolate covered. So like if you've ever eaten a chocolate covered strawberry, like I remember the Hubs and I were celebrating our anniversary at a really nice hotel in Portland when we were in grad school. And they had heard that it was our anniversary. I think I probably told them. I don't remember. And they delivered chocolate covered strawberries to our room for free. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And we had already eaten dessert and like, we'll eat them tomorrow sort of vibe. And then chocolate covered strawberries can sometimes like almost start to liquefy, like something in the chocolate with the strawberry ripening. It's a thing. We ate them anyways, but they smelt super overripe, almost to the point of like starting to feel fermented. They were safe to eat. We didn't get sick. But that's what the strawberry smell in here reminds me of, is that super ripe strawberry and then chocolate covered banana. I have one more of these and I am hoarding this candle, y'all. I love it. I'm not going to burn it until I know it's coming back this spring for Valentine's Day again, because this was a Valentine's Day candle. And if it doesn't come back, I'll burn it in February. But love this. If this does come back, I'm buying like 6 because I can't live without it. It's so delicious. Pop-Tart's Frosted Raspberry fragrance. I also have the blueberry in here somewhere. We'll get to it eventually. Warm pastry, raspberry filling, frosting, and sugar. This was a part of the Pop-Tarts collab they did last fall. Pretty clean burn on this. I do think the reflexive foil label helped this to stay clean. Wax pool is just a little bit discolored, but nothing too serious. I really like this fragrance. You get a hint of the pastry and it does feel like a Pop-Tart pastry, almost like par cooked, like the raw before you bake in the oven kind. And then you get the nice raspberry jam scent to it. Not a powerhouse. It was good for like smelling up the particular area where it was lit, but it would not fill the open concept space. So I was burning this with the raspberry sorbet candle to help fill up my open concept space. So that one, I probably would get it again. The problem again is with those collabs, they're always $12.49. And there's other raspberry candles that perform just as well, if not better. So if I got it, it would be just for the label. Actually, let me see if I have the blueberry one. I'll start with that one next. Yeah, because I have to show you this one, Fire Hazard. So this is the Frosted Blueberry scent. I'll talk about the fragrance first. It is warm pastry, blueberry filling, and frosting and sugar. And this, y'all, started to catch the label on fire. So I'm going to show you here. Don't know if you'll be able to pick up on it. It looks like a cat scratched it, right? But this is actually melted and started to slide off the side of the jar. So this tells me that this was getting way too hot for the vessel. If the label on the outside is melting, that's a huge fire risk. This could burst. It could catch on fire. So I noped out on it. I was like, no, we are done. And what's weird is there is a wick in here that's really close to the edge of the jar, but that's only because I crocked it. I stuck it in the crock. So when I crocked this, the wicks did not look like this. They looked standard, normal. There was nothing that would have alarmed me about the burn quality until... And I only figured it out because I went to pick it up and I felt it and I was like, what the heck? And I realized that's melting and it's not coming through, but when you start to melt this plastic, it gets like wrinkles in it. Yeah, you're not going to be able to tell, but it starts to almost look like a fingerprint. And that's usually how you can tell that it's melted and not just ripped. So I stopped burning this one, crocked it. I had it in the crock for probably 3 days and then it started to just smell kind of weird. So I took it out. Beautiful fragrance on warm, very blueberry jammy like the filling. It has a similar pastry note as the raspberry. Again, I would rebuy it, but not paying $12.49 for the collab price. I'd rather buy one of their other blueberry fragrances. Ladybug from their garden series that came out this past spring. Orchard peach, red raspberries, and fresh wildflowers. This is not my favorite. It's a one and done. I think if you like blending peach with floral, you would like this candle. I'm not a huge fan of peach. I'm not always a fan of wildflower. Loved the jar burning. This kind of red glass was really pretty, and it was also a very clean burn. You can't see the walls to know whether or not this was studding, but the wax pool is pretty clean. So quality burn, medium strength, good throw, but not for me. It's just not my fragrance. I'm glad to have experienced it, but that's a one and done. Coconut Beechwood is one I've already bought backups of because I really like this fragrance. Coconut shells, island teakwood, and vanilla sandalwood. I normally don't like teakwood based off of like Bath & Body Works. This is beautiful. It's woody from that teakwood. It's creamy from the coconut, and that sandalwood helps to warm everything up. Get just a hint of vanilla in there. This one wasn't the cleanest burn towards the end. It got a little bit sooty. It smells a little bit smoky even on cold right now. Even given those problems, it's mine. I got backups. I think I have 2 more of these that I bought. Medium strength at best. Average throw. I still want more. That tells you how much I like the fragrance. Chocolate dipped banana. This is one that Taylor and Nugget heard that I liked this one, and we did an exchange. They sent me a couple of these. I think it was 2. I still have the box. I haven't opened it yet, Taylor. It's coming. I'm doing a friend mail episode. This one I love. It is frozen banana, dipped chocolate and caramel drizzle. A little bit discolored in the wax pool. It got a little bit sooty there towards the end. But this is just your classic chocolate covered banana scent. I do feel like it feels more like a frozen banana, which makes sense because it does say frozen. It's not super sweet in the same way that like the chocolate covered strawberry vibe gives me. It doesn't feel like a really ripe, sweet, like juicy banana. It feels like you've frozen it and you have to bring out the sweetness with your saliva. So they did a good job of capturing the frozen essence of a banana. The ganache is more towards the dark side, not so much like a milk chocolate ganache. Yeah, I really like it. That caramel drizzle adds kind of a weird creaminess to it, but it's tolerable because I enjoy the banana fragrance so much. Smurfin' on Sunshine is another one that we got through. Now, I was originally burning this at the stepdad's house because when he first smelled it, he loved pineapple. And he was like, oh, I like that one. You can burn that one more. And then we got maybe a third of the way through, and I said, you want this one? It's the pineapple one you like. He sniffed it. He's like, I don't really like that one. I'm like, okay. So then Jason comes to visit, and he's like, ooh, I like that one. I was like, all right, finally, we'll take it home. I don't like it because I'm not a fan of pineapple. It's juicy ripe pineapple, toasted coconut, and vanilla cream. But the stepdad loved it and then fell out of love. The hubs loved it, and we finished it at home. So about 2/3 of it was spent here in California. A third of it was in Michigan. Did have sooting on this candle, not only in the beginning, but also you'll see those soot rings about halfway down. And this is with me monitoring the burn. So it did have some burn quality issues. One and done for me. Again, that collab price plus the burn quality issues, it's got to go. Custard. This is the Strawberry Shortcake collab that came out. That was this spring, right? It's been a bit. Pink strawberry, dense vanilla cream, soft butter, and melted vanilla sugar. This is stinky. It was really gross, y'all. Not only was it sooty, but it also discolored the wax pool. Now, the wax kind of coming up the rim, that's my fault. I moved it while it was still wet. But when I sniff this right now, all I smell is soot. It's charred. On warm, it just smells like strawberry pound cake to me, even though it's got different scent notes. It also smells just like, or very similar to, like the best friends from this Strawberry Shortcake collection. I have enough of these. I'm over that fragrance, so that is a one and done, not only for the fragrance, but the burn quality issues. Last tray of 3 wicks from Goose Creek, Oceanview Room. This was one of my favorites this month. This has salty ocean air, white gardenia, and beach grass. I don't normally like gardenia, and I don't think this smells anything like the scent notes. This smells straight up like tonka to me. Yeah, this smells like tonka bean. Something about the saltiness in here and the way that it's playing with the other 2 notes feels like a woody, salty tonka bean. So it reminds me a lot of sea salt and tonka from Kringle. About equal strength and throw. This one's not a beast. It's very light, but you could smell it if you were near it. Would I rebuy it? No, not unless I was going to crock it, because y'all, Soot City. And again, that's with me monitoring my burns. Discoloration in the wax too. Super gross. This whole collection had burn issues. So, something about that jar. Skillet Blueberry Cobbler I got through. This one is yummy. Warm blueberries, baked cobbler, and vanilla ice cream. Yeah, it's more of a jammy blueberry with a little bit of a spice note to it. Really pleasant. Again, they do blueberry so well. Clean burn, clean wax pool. Would absolutely repurchase this one. However, I've repurchased quite a few of the blueberries. I don't want a whole drawer full of blueberry, but if this comes out again next year, I will have another one. This is the sunscreen candle that I would not buy again, Sand Castle. But if you like sunscreen candles, this is a good one. Orange flower, coconut sunscreen, and beach sand. Ugh, yeah. It just straight up smells like nasty sunscreen to me. This makes me want to go wash my hands. Like, I just put sunscreen on my body and I feel gross and I don't like how it feels on my hands and I need to go wash it off. But I'll wash my hands like 3 times and it still won't come off. That's the memory this is evoking for me. I don't want that in my house. So I got through it because we had other sunscreen candles to help balance it out. Definitely sooty, soot rings on the bottom. Wax pool is slightly discolored. This is a one and done for me. I don't know why I suffered through it. I should have just destashed it, but I was stubborn. Marshmallows. Not to be confused with the Marshmallow Sugar. And they also have there's another marshmallow one they had out last fall that also, was it Marshmallow Gelato? They're not the same. This one is super light. I also don't think it has the awesome sweetness that Marshmallow Sugar has. It's warm vanilla bean, fluffy marshmallows, and toasted vanilla cream. Yeah, and this one has more of it's almost like a more taffied marshmallow. Like, it almost feels like a chew, like a marshmallow chew you would eat. I like it, but it doesn't compete with Marshmallow Sugar. So that one, pretty clean burn, just a little bit of discoloration. Strength and throw is pretty low. But if you pair that like I did with Marshmallow Sugar, it just ramps up the marshmallow vibe in your house. Blueberry Limeade. This one has juicy blueberries, ripe raspberries, and sugary limeade. I don't get the raspberry, but I definitely get the lime, and I feel like this is more limeade than blueberry on warm. I love that combination though. It almost feels like a lime slushy with like a hint of blueberry syrup in it. I would get this one again, but I don't think it's backstock worthy. This one also had some real issues with traveling wicks. That happened, of course, after I burned it out. I didn't burn it like that. I would never burn a candle with wicks that look like that. But when you go to burn it out, and I have a wick dipper, so you go to dip the wick, and the wick nickels just went all over the place. So that one was fine. It just, at the end, everything got loosey-goosey. And the last one, Tropical Daydream. Now this is a beautiful pineapple fragrance. This was one I gravitated towards, which speaks to it because I don't like pineapple, but I did like this one. It's island pineapple, sweet guava, and tropical palm leaves. Maybe it's the palm in here. It just felt kind of creamy and pineapple-y. Almost goes the way of like sunscreen vibes. Yeah, just very bright, very cheery. Burn quality was not good though, y'all. So you see all that soot in the bottom and around the top even of the jar, and then the wax pool got really discolored. Also, we have another moth friend making an appearance back there, and you've got some wick fallout on the side of the jar. So this was just a nasty burn. I still burned it because I like it a lot, but for that reason, I would not repurchase it. I had 2 single wicks from Goose Creek. One of those was Boardwalk Cone, so this is the same as the big boy. This, I think, is last year's label, though, and the wax had gotten discolored from age, so that's not from soot. It just got kind of orange. That happens with especially something that has a vanilla note in it, which I just said it, but I don't remember what's in here. But otherwise, that was clean. And then I also got through Marshmallow Sugar in the single wick, which did not deliver in terms of strength and throw like I was expecting, given how the 3-wick does. It did okay, but was not a powerhouse in my bathroom like I was expecting. I also am figuring out that I don't want my bathroom to smell like marshmallows. I don't mind it smelling like ice cream cones for some reason, but I didn't like this in the bathroom, so I would not rebuy that in the single wick format, but would absolutely continue to buy it in the 3-wick. That's Goose Creek. I have a tray here, almost a full tray of Kringle that I'm going to share with you. The first one is the Avocado and Palm in the 2-wick large jar. This one did really well in terms of burn quality, so you'll notice the wax pool is not discolored. And usually with these Kringle vessels, you'll get some soot here at the top, because when it gets way down here, it almost becomes like its own hurricane. It gets really hot and the flames can get really high, but this one did really good. The scent notes on this one are sun-ripened avocado, palm leaf, sea salt, fresh air, green melon, water lily, apple blossom, aloe water, and beechwood. This is a very sweet, fresh, creamy floral. I think that's how I would describe it. I feel like you get the palm, which is very like fresh and green. You have that floral note in here from I'm guessing it's coming from the palm leaf as well as the apple blossom. The hubs we are discovering does not like palm, so this is a one and done for us. He thinks it's way, way too floral and sharp to his nose, because I'm also burning Goose Creek's palm. I forget what it is. It's got palm in it. It came out with like the leaves on the jar. There was another one in that same, the Sunlit Shores. It's the same in that collection, but he doesn't like palm. So this is a one and done. This was very strong, in my opinion, almost too strong for the floral note that's in here. So I also wouldn't want to rebuy this, but if you like palm and you like strong floral, put that in the bag. This one, I'm just glad to be done with. I did not like this fragrance. Pot o' Gold. This was the St. Patrick's candle. I picked this up at 75% off and thought, well, what will it hurt? Plus it has a whiskey note in it, and I'll do it during Father's Day rotation. It's sweet caramel, cream, sugar, vanilla, and rum, but it just gets too boozy. The caramel is too sharp. It almost smells like burnt brown sugar. Yeah, I don't like it. One and done for me. Even at 75% off, I wouldn't rebuy this candle. So relatively clean. You got a little bit of soot at the top. Again, that's probably from the hurricane aspect that happens when you light these and it gets towards the bottom. This one we did rebuy in the recent Labor Day sale that's still ongoing. I think that ends today. This is Marshmallow Morning. The hubs really liked this one, but I'm not crazy about it. No scent notes on the bottom because this one's old, so I'll put the scent notes down here for you. To me, this doesn't smell like the picture. I was expecting Lucky Charms vibes. but it's really more of a like a vanilla cream with a hint of marshmallow. It's kind of boring. It feels very one-dimensional to me. Strength was medium at best and decent throw, but not a huge thrower. It's not stellar. He liked it, so I rebought it. It was cheap, but I wouldn't personally rebuy it, but he liked it, so I got one. I also got through my 3-wick of the blueberry muffin. This is blueberry, brown sugar, black currant, buttercream, lemon zest, and vanilla. And this ended up just smelling very light in the blueberry department. I feel like I got more of whatever the vanilla and buttercream and brown sugar notes are in here. It's pleasant, but it almost ended up smelling more like a blueberry crumble with vanilla icing on it. It was just kind of weird. I wouldn't rebuy it for that reason, but I'm glad I tried it. I was having a little bit of FOMO about this one. Wax pool's clean, jar is clean. That's pretty standard for Kringle's 3-wick vessels. So that one's a one and done. And the last Kringle is the strawberry jam. This has strawberry, lemon, and vanilla buttercream. Yeah, I just can't get past what feels like a seaweed vibe in here. It was okay on warm. You didn't get it on warm, but it's just... there's something that feels off to me about this. It doesn't feel like strawberry jam to me. It almost smells like frozen strawberries that you macerated. And I don't know if that makes any sense to you at all, but frozen strawberries kind of lose their like fruity sweetness. And then if you were to macerate it, and you almost get this like waxy vibe from it. That's what I get from the strawberry jam. And I know some of y'all really like this one. Debbie, I know you love this candle. So if you want, share in the comments what you really love about this. It's not for me. I can appreciate that other people love it, but I'm going to go with other strawberry candles and not from Kringle. All right, I have a few things in my others category. One of those is Village's Unicorn Dreams. Scent notes on the front are lemon, strawberry, and cherry lime. I wouldn't know because you couldn't smell this. Yeah, I mean, this was like, yeah, I couldn't smell it. I would say it was a 1 on a scale of 10, but I honestly felt like this was an unscented candle on warm. Clean burn. On cold, I can barely smell it, and I get the creaminess of like a strawberry, and I get a hint of sourness probably from the cherry or the lime, but I would not waste my money on this candle. It is a one and done. This one was even worse, if that's even possible, the Dolce Delight. Completely unscented. This was an ambiance candle. I had this burning in the kitchen just for like the glow of it, not because it smelled. This is completely unscented. Rich vanilla, wildflower honey, and coconut milk. Nope. One and done. Another Village candle that I finished up is the Wild Maine Blueberry. This one I did get some fragrance out of and I enjoyed it. I would repurchase this one, but only as a companion candle because the strength at best was light leaning towards medium. And this one's Wild Blueberry, Raspberry, Cassis, Lemon, and Bergamot. And it's a very juicy, almost artificial blueberry note in here, but I like the way it plays with the Cassis. Makes it feel a little bit deeper and a little bit richer. And then there's a raspberry note in here that makes it feel a little bit tart. So it ends up just feeling like a very well-balanced blueberry. I also loved the wax color on this when it was burning. Super clean, classic Village, no wax residue. So I would rebuy that one, but that's the only one of my Village candles that I would even consider picking up again. And my beloved Yankee Blueberry, which this is a candle from, this is from 22. This is from 21. This gave off OG vibes. I actually got fragrance from it, but I don't trust that the new one would still smell. I'll put the scent notes down here because Yankee doesn't put them on the jar, and this was really clean for Yankee. So this is what Yankee looked like 4 years ago. It had decent fragrance, and even then, that was when they really started going downhill. And then you're not getting any of the soot in the jar like you normally would get. And I do use an Illumilid and burn it in a hurricane, and I think that helps. So this would be a repurchase if I thought I could still get this same candle, but they reformulated. There's no longer paraffin, and they're mostly unscented these days. So I will not be rebuying that one, and I'm mourning the loss of it because I've had that for years and I really love it. And that is one of my first blueberry candles I ever bought in the history of candle buying, and one of my repurchases from Yankee for the last 30 years. So goodbye, blueberry. I wish you hadn't been ruined by the company that runs you these days. Okay, next is my Target candle. Ashwood and Palo Santo. I've been talking about this one on and off for my channel. Finally finished it up. This is a bigger vessel. I also have this in a single wick. This is their 20 ounce. I do not have the scent notes, and I think it's just the Ashwood, Palo Santo, Patchouli, and Oakwood that's in here because it says it's with those fragrances here. And I get mostly Oakwood and Palo Santo out of this candle. Palo Santo first and foremost, and then Oakwood. Little sooty at the top. Large vessel, so I guess that makes sense. Wax pool stayed pretty clean. You can't see it because it's hardened, but there was quite a bit of wick fallout with this candle. I would repurchase this. I have repurchased this. This is my third large one, and tell you a secret, this was a part of a massive recall a couple years ago with Target because I guess these were shattering. I got the refund because I had the receipt. They gave me the refund and they told me to destroy it. And I was like, I'm going to just put that in the graveyard and burn it on the stove. So I only burned this on my stovetop. It didn't shatter. I didn't have any problems with it. So this was free. They did come out with a new vessel and I have already rebought it since then. Just waiting to get into it once I finish this one. So that one's a couple years old, but finally finished that one off. I have one single wick that's from the other category, and that's a DW Home Ice Cream Sandwich. I don't remember the scent notes on this one. If I can find it, I'll put it below. I wasn't here for this one. I asked the hubs, what did it smell like? He said, I don't remember. I said, did it have throw? He said he didn't think so. Sorry, y'all. I got nothing for you. I don't know what this was like. All I can tell you is it was dirty. So pretty sooty for a single wick. Wax pool is kind of grimy. This would not be a repurchase. I have not had good luck with DW Home. So that is a one and done. I have some votives. 3 of them from circa 1955. One of those is Halloween Tree. I'll put the scent notes below because Nicole doesn't put them on the jar. I couldn't smell this. It was unscented. I don't know if it's the vessel or if I got a bad one, but I couldn't smell this at all. The Main Street Pumpkin Spice Latte. This one had good coffee fragrance, but I had some burn issues with this one. The other 2 burned just fine, and it did straighten itself out eventually, but the wick kind of had constant problems. You can see there's wick fallout stuck to the side of the jar over here. It tunneled pretty bad. So if I were to buy this again, I would not buy it in the sample size. I'd get the bigger size. And even then, I wanted more power from this. It was medium, leaning towards light. Powerhouse on this one, however, Oogie's Green Apple Lemonade, bright green apple, tart lemonade, a little bit of sweetness. I reordered this in the 3 wick because I really like it, and this thing was a powerhouse. Clean burn, too. Nothing going on with the burn quality or the wick issues in that one at all. So this one I reordered in a 3 wick because I liked it that much. Yankee's Coconut Beach. If I can find the scent notes, I'll put them below. This was unscented. Total ambiance for the bathroom. And the last candle, last votive, Sea Salt from Kalamazoo Candle Company. I'll also put the notes below on this one. I like this one. It's kind of salty and creamy and warm. It was super light, even with this vessel. I might try it in the larger size. I have had some good luck with their candles, but mostly bad luck. If they run a sale and I need more of my lighters, I get my electric lighters from them and my wick dippers from them. I would toss the larger size of this in the bag and give it a try, but I'm not going to go out of my way to order it. I do like it, it's just I'm worried it's not going to have any strength or throw. Alright, that is everything for this Empties video. I got through a lot in August, not as much as I would have liked to have. I have a lot of stuff that carried over into September that I couldn't get through, and that was because the hubs was in Michigan with me for almost a week, so we didn't get to burn as much as we normally would. I'm okay with that stuff carrying over. September definitely feels like a transitional month. So it fits, but I do wish I would have gotten through more. Let me know in the comments, how many empties did you have? I don't expect them to be as high as mine. Y'all, this is bonkers. This is not normal. I'm aware. But share with me what you emptied out, anything that you had that was a favorite in August, any questions you have about any of these, put that all in the comments below. I want to have a conversation with you. I hope that your Labor Day weekend is going amazing and that you aren't dreading going back to work tomorrow. Or if you're working today, I hope you got at least a little bit of time to relax. give me a thumbs up. If you appreciate this video, make sure you're subscribed. I've got some good stuff coming down the line, including a Villains Lit review video that you will see tomorrow. I also have a Homeworks review that's going to post. I have a Goose Creek order on Friday coming in. What else do I have? I have a Wax Melt Wednesdays Sassy Girl Aroma video that I'm going to do on Wednesday, so you want to be tuned in. Turn on notifications if you want to know right away when I release content. I will see you again tomorrow in my next video. Until then, have a great day. Bye-bye.